Huh?
Got the stream page loaded?
Sure, I'll load it on up. Post it in the chat.
Really making me effort.
I mean, you're in front of a computer. I'm on my phone, so.
Problems of
All right. Anyways.
truth. Really understand life. Definitely not.
We're definitely not doing what now?
Probably.
Yeah, that's a you thing. I mean, how often do you see me going to the Twitch page? I mean, I'm
I'm
on
just
it.
saying. I know you a mobile guy. I know you don't normally like to make yourself well known on your browsing history. Get that.
What? No, I don't have a good enough PC to be doing all this at the same time. That's the only reason
Yeah,
why.
I was trying not to roast. I was trying to like give you that side pass, but like that you did it to yourself. That wasn't me. Anyways, let me quick. Here.
It is really weird. It says that there are 6 viewers, but I only see 3 people. Does that mean that the other?
Don't have a count.
Yep. Okay. Or they're
Exactly
just,
what.
or they're just not signed in. Positivity bot.
Okay, now there are some I have learned. All right, let me tell you. Let me tell you what your boys learned. I've learned. So there are apparently certain YouTubers who have gone out of their way to make these follow bots. And maybe say what follow bot? It's so that when new streamers pop up, they think that someone's following them, and then they go look at their channel. And sometimes, people will follow for follow, so they're inflating their numbers by putting out bots. Now, there's some people who just have stuff like positivity bot, which is its own finagling can of worms,
Yeah.
So yeah, there are some where they kind of have a thing, don't have a thing, but it's a thing. You're wondering why I'm doing this. There's definitely property cancel. All right, if you were in the chat, you can type and leave now.
What were they looking like before? I don't understand.
Oh no, I mean like, all right. So the reason why I'm doing this is because now, when I'm editing the video, we can have the chat in there because it'll be on a green screen. If you see what I'm saying. So I can now,
sure.
yeah, I can now edit the chat to also be with the podcast. People understand what we're fucking talking about. It makes sense for the view. They get it.
Not really, because we're not talking about things that are directly coming from the chat. Normally.
Yeah, but if we're replying to something, it's nice to be able to at least reply to it. I'm just giving us the option.
You're just trying to open up for nonsense, aren't you?
Open up for nonsense. Yeah, all right. Just because I know how to handle nonsense because I've been on the internet for a while doesn't mean shit. It's not.
That's part of my point. Like, you're trying to open up the nonsense here.
Look,
You know
well,
all the nonsense.
first off, we're on the internet. We're on Pandora's box. So anyway, let's get started, shall we?
That's the whole point of not responding to the people who are in the chat. They're bringing the nonsense. That is like Twitch Chat 101. Like, what are you trying to say right now?
Don't worry, I'll handle it. Watch.
I know better than trust that, but okay.
What's going on there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, gamins and gamettes, and everybody in between, all those type of introductions alike? I'm your host, good old-fashioned NinjaBreadGod, and to my right, we have the man with the plan, the man who takes first place without even needing to pick up the controller, Mr. SubtleFraudulence. How you doing?
That's so wrong. I'm not to your right. I'm not in the same room as you. See, these introductions, that you're lying to the fans once again.
Lying to the fact
of the people.
Man of the people. You just told us that the people didn't matter. Whoa, we'll pause. We're not. What we're not about to do is do the chicanery.
Tell them, chat. You see the lies that I say the people don't matter? No, I said Twitch chat 101 brings the nonsense. Do you guys not bring the nonsense? These are no lies here.
But anyways, man, how are you? How you doing? You doing all right?
I mean, yeah, I'm doing completely fine right now.
All right, well, that's good. I'm glad to see that you are not deterred in any way, not disturbed. Things are going smoothly for you. Because apparently on the internet, things don't go very smoothly for most people. But yes, folks, this is the Shadowrealmers Podcast, episode 3, I believe that's what we're on right now. And, you know, I know that we're kind of new to the game, and I know that some of you may not have heard of us, but there is something that you may have heard of. It's a little game that's called Star Citizen. Anybody heard of that? Ring any bells? For those of you who don't know, it's basically a game that was featured on Kickstarter that was supposed to come out, 2.5 years ago? But for some reason or another, even though it made goal, even though a plethora of people donated to it, even though there's people who have donated $4,000, $6,000, $12,000, they still ain't got no game. They still ain't seen not a little bit of this finished product. They've gotten little tastes, they've gotten little teasers like Mark Hamill joins the cast. But at the end of the day, they still have no full-fledged game to call their own and to actually play. That being said, how you feel about that, Abdul?
I was told a long time ago that was the sham, and like just seeing the way everything is played out, of course that is prime Kickstarter behavior right there. There are probably tons and tons of games and projects that are on Kickstarter of people going, hey, can you give me like $2,000, maybe $5,000 for me to start this game up? And it goes to no one. It goes nowhere. They're like, oh, hey, I gave you like $500. Where's my game? Yeah, it got canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. So,
but I donated 17 grand to it. Well, you know the cookie crumbles like that sometimes. Sorry, Charlie, and they just peace out. Like, it's amazing to me that apparently, you know, there's people who have donated almost $17,000 and are still looking to get some sort of compensation, or they tried to go to the Better Business Bureau. And like, these are pledges that were made in like 2012. 2012. I don't know if you guys know this, but 2012 was the year that Obama got reelected for the second term.
I don't know why you had to bring that up, but
because I'm trying to show that, like, we are 2 terms back.
Look, man, some people want to get their royalties, and there's nothing wrong with that. You got to remember, Lil Wayne just got paid.
Look, man, I understand. Get your bag secure and all that. But I'm just saying, like, come on, like, how you just gonna bold-faced lie to the people, have them think they're gonna get this game? Oh, wait, they did that with Mighty Number 9. But at least that game come out. At least that game exists.
Some people don't look at it that way. They're like, no, you should have taken it back. By the way, speaking of that game, remember how they said there was going to be I believe there was a DS version that was promised of that game? No.
Wait, is the DS version not out?
No. There was never a DS version. I think there was the PlayStation version, and then maybe Vita got a version, and that was it.
Was there actually supposed to be a DS?
Oh, and Xbox.
Oh, there was supposed to be a Vita port too. Oh,
So wait, the Vita port didn't come out?
no.
Okay, well,
Apparently, they are missing quite an extensive bit. That's wild. That is what. See, the weird thing about Mighty Number 9 is it was a game that at one point looked like it had promise from actual tangible screenshots and video. I don't know how you mess up your own shit to the point to where it degraded and was relegated to a steaming pile of fecal matter that was just smeared all over the fucking airwaves as what it came out as. And now that you have a game like, Mega Man 9, or not Mega Man, Mega Man 11 that dropped not too long ago, you see that it's a very simple formula that you have to follow to make a game that is functional and fun. Somehow Mighty Number 9 missed both boats there, but, I digress. At least it was better than nothing. When this video game character who was featured in games like Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, Secret Rings, Black Knight, etc., so on and so forth, can roast you saying at least it's better than nothing, and no one gives the Sonic the shit for it? Boy, you stepped in some hot garbo. It's a really sad state of affairs, but that being said, we digress. Back to Star Citizen.
Now I can give you a very good comparison for Star Citizen and why they went the way they did. Because have you ever met one of those girls who are like, hey, yeah, cash at me like $20 and I'll hang out with you, or cash at me $20 to get in my DMs. Girls like that.
Nah. It's not even that. This is the premium nonsense. This is, oh my God, I'm so great. I'm so happy to have you as my fan. Spend $80 per month and you get my premium Snapchat. Spend $200 a month and you'll even get access to my all access pass and get a one-on-one hour-long Google Hangout session. Yippee!
No. This is actually the girl who comes up and says, please, I'm low on rent money right now. I need to pay my rent. Like I need to feed my child. Like I just need you to loan me $200 right now, and I'll pay you back on Friday. I promise.
No. That's the dude that pulls up and be like, "Hey fam, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get my GED squared away. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to get back. I'm fresh out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get back on my feet. You know what I'm saying? I'm hard on my luck. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do better for myself. And you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I forgot. I can't buy this burger because I'm
broke. Be going everywhere and you be like, hey dog, I ain't seen you trying to get this GED or nothing. You ain't trying to better yourself. Nah, fam. The street life was too real for me. I had to get these new J's, had to get these new stunner shades. I don't even know what the fuck this say on this chain, but I had to get it. And your boy had to get tatted up, sleeves, homie, back in jail a week later. And it's like, yo, word? Huh? Can't give money to nobody out here in these streets.
Who are you talking about, man? I've never met this gentleman before, but it sounds like someone you'd meet in like a back alleyway in like New York or something.
Back alleyway, nah, fam. That's Atlanta. I trust me. I got people down here, and let me just say this. I don't care how much of a homie some people think that they are to you, or say that they are to you, or how much they say they got your back. There's a life lesson that most people that you meet and interact with are gonna prove themselves time and time again that they just ain't shit. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter what gender they are, what race they are, what faith they are. These are just facts at this point. Sorry, Charlie. That's just how it crumbles. But yeah, Star Citizen, a hot garbo. That is 100%. That is the genjutsu. That's a game that you thought you were going to see. I don't think it's happening. Release date pending 2027. This is the best I got for you, fam. If that. And it's just funny because there's so many big money players involved in terms of people who kickstarted that game because they really thought they were going to get a genre that's really niche, and they went super hard for it. Unfortunately, their commitment won't be seeing any dividends paid off. Also, with that being said, I don't like Kickstarter as an entire platform. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of feeling the same about GoFundMe because some of the things that get GoFunded are like, so you just made 10 grand for doing absolutely jack fuck all. But, you know, someone else over here could be like actually having some life problems and, you know, needs a funeral or something and, you know, they don't even get halfway to goal. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Obviously, everybody who has a good heart with good intentions and, you know, a good structure in terms of what they want to, you know, use the money for isn't always going to get rewarded, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But on Kickstarter, kickstarting a game? I mean, let's face it. I know they say that you need to have a license to be able to have people gamble on your site. But man, these are some of the biggest big ball, big reads, big brain plays you have to make on if your game will ever see the light of day. And if it does see the light of day, it doesn't turn out like Mighty Number 9. Complete risk. Either you're going to get something that's okay or complete another fucking shit show. And I'd say about 70% of the time, you're looking at a fucking shit show. Sorry, guys. That's just the way it fucking... Yo, dog, buy my mixtape. Yo, buy my mixtape, dudes are the worst! Yo, Abdul. You remember that dude that said, yo, buy my mixtape and tried to write your name down on the CD?
Oh, he didn't know how to spell my name. And so he messed it up a few times. And then he was like, yo, you got to donate $1 at least so that you can keep this. And it's like, I don't want it.
No, like it was crazy to me because we're just walking in the mall and the dude was just sitting there, you know, chilling, minding his own business, whatever. And we're walking by and he's like, hey, bro, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? You know, we trapping it down here, you feel me? Like, we out here, you know, we doing it big, you know what I'm saying? We doing it for the culture, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to need you to do, want to bump this, you know what I'm saying? Just throw a little money my way. And we all said, nah, we got it. He said, come on, man. You know, man, you know I'm a real one out here, bro. Look at me. Look, I'm dripping, bro. I'm telling you right now. Hold on. What's your name, sir? And he was like, Abdul. Like, he was like, wait, why is he asking me this? And the dude pulled out a Sharpie or a pen or something and started writing down on the CD. And he said, how you spell that? And I was like, you over here saying you got hot fire, but you can't spell Abdul. Hello? I'm trying to figure out life decisions that you made and how we have gotten to this point. Because at this juncture, you're fired. There's nothing you can do. If you can't spell a simple name like that is spelled the way it sounds, you gotta go. You have to you have to get blown the fuck out. Sorry, fam. This isn't gonna go the way that you need this to go. Do not pass go. Do not even look at my wallet. It's not going down. And then after he spelled his name wrong on the disc, still tried to give him the disc. Say, hey, you gotta at least throw him a bone. He said, nah, I don't want it. And he was like, man, get out of here, bro. Like, we insulted him. I'm just saying, man.
I mean, that's nice. I hope everything goes well for him in his music career. But,
yo, it's better than a few years ago. Some of you who watched my old streams way back when, you might know about that guy who gave me his Christian mixtape. And he was like, it started off with like a mixtape, like promo, like real trap shit. But then it was like, Jesus, and he's like singing, and it's like, I'm like, yo, we listen to like, you know, like a pasture version of Keith Sweat. Like, I'm trying to figure out what we doing. Like, my man's out here like, I'm pimping the hoes for Jesus. Like, that's not words I expected to hear in a sentence. And then like there's three tracks on there. They're just the most ratchet, just gratuitous hot nonsense you've ever heard in your life. I mean, like, we're talking like anything. The level of just hot nonsense transcends anything that Designer has ever made. I would even argue that Panda was a more understandable song lyrically than some of the shit that was on this album. But we streamed that album on Twitch long time ago, or was it I think it was Hitbox. Who the fuck remembers Hitbox TV? Yeah, Pepper Ridge Farm remembers. Are they even still up? I don't even know. I'll have to look into that at some point. But yeah, that was way back when. But Star Citizen, we hardly knew yet. But speaking of things that are something that have kind of been a little bit slammed by critics, how about that Venom movie, cuz?
Um, Here's the thing about what critics have been saying about the movie. They're kind of revealing themselves to be not real people, it seems, because that movie was not awful. It was not Catwoman bad or anything that these people are trying to say as hot takes to get themselves out on the internet scene and all that jazz. Get the clout, as the kids say. The movie was not. It was not the best movie ever or anything close to it. It was just a decent movie, and that's if you take into the fact that they didn't really have that much they could do with it. You couldn't tie it to Spider-Man, which is like 90% of Venom's life right there. They couldn't tie it to most of Spider-Man's like villains or, his life. Any sort of reference to Spider-Man was something they had to really do very, very subtly, and they did. They couldn't even put the actual symbol on Venom's chest. Like,
You'd be surprised
people
somehow.
Complained about the whole symbiote thing, and they redubbed that. So it's not like the movie didn't listen to the people on the internet who are like, "Hey, what is this? This is gonna be garbage."
And like, look, we're not saying that the movie was good. We're not saying it was even like solid, but we're saying these people are like, some of the people who are describing it was like, yo, this is like the new Catwoman, like as you said, or yo, man, this movie's so bad, it's like The Room. Like there are people who are making like these super like deep comparisons to like these like historically worst movies of all time. Like Venom was just guaranteed to just be right on their top 10 worst movies of all time, or bottom 10. However that phrase would actually work. But if you watch the movie, it's just the middle of the road mediocre movie that just so happens to have this character in it. I mean, look, I'll take 1,000 more of these Venom movies before I see another Fantastic Four. I will tell you that right now, straight face, do not at me.
Which one are you talking about? The recent Fantastic Four? That was
any of them. Any of them. The first Fantastic Four movie, I do think gets a little bit more of a bad rap than it should have. But it's because it was followed up by that effort where Galactus was a cloud. Yeah.
I mean, it came out at like the cusp of, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man era. So the first movie was good for that time period, but the second movie was god awful for a follow-up to that movie because we got Spider-Man 2 as a follow-up to Spider-Man 1, you know?
And I'm going to be honest, since we brought up the Tobey Maguire movies, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I do think Spider-Man 3 is a terrible movie. However, I think it had a lot of interesting concepts in the movie. But I think for some reason, it's like they had Spider-Man 3 and 4 and fused them into one movie and didn't know how to write the mixed plot. Because I think you could have done something with Venom by giving it to,
Marvel.
Norman. No, the character. Harry, right?
Wait, what?
In Spider-Man 3, the Venom suit. It went on the Green Goblin's son. I forget the fucking dude's name.
You talking about Harry Osborn?
Yeah, there.
You said it would have been more interesting if he was Venom in Spider-Man 3?
He was. Technically.
No.
For a short amount of time.
What? I definitely don't remember any part like that. Tobey Maguire
got the suit, yes.
That's Tobey Maguire. He was not Harry.
I could have swore that Harry ended up with the symbiote for like the last 2 seconds of the movie.
No, Harry killed himself. like I'll tell you that right now. Harry sacrificed himself to show Peter that he's not a bad guy after trying to murder Peter for the entire movie.
All right, damn, then fuck it, because I damn sure don't remember that movie as well as I thought I did. Aha! All I remember is, I guess all I remember is, my man Steve from Blue's Clues, and yes, I know that's, the Sandman's actual costume, was like, nah, man, I had to do it to him. You know, I had to do it to him because
The
it
main
kind of
problem,
because like his
the main
partner
problem with
didn't want to
Spider-Man
shoot
3.
him, but his homie was, but like his homie was just like, nah, fam, I'm the Sandman, even though he wasn't the Sandman yet. Pow pow, old man gotta die. Now get in the car.
The main problem with Spider-Man 3 was that they were trying to fit like 3 Spider-Man movies into one because they were like, "Oh, we're running out of the budget here. This is the last one. Nobody's gonna want another movie after this." And it was just like, okay, so pick either Venom, New Goblin, which made the most sense, or Sandman, I guess. But the whole Sandman thing was awful because it retconned the first movie. Like
Yeah,
it
I
was
do
straight
remember
up like,
that part because it went from it was an accident to nah, homie, I had to do it to him. Which in and of itself was it because I don't even think the dude mentioned that he had a partner when he was robbing the car.
no, that was not a thing until the third movie retconned it.
Hey,
There
man,
was no partner or anything like that. It was just the dude because that was this actual Spider-Man trope of he let this man go because he was like, yeah,
it's
that's
not
right.
my problem.
Guy who didn't pay me, that's karma. And then he goes home and it's like, oh, I got the karma.
Karma, a bad mistress right there, fam.
And so then after that, he's like, I'm gonna be a superhero because I decided not to be the superhero in that moment. My pride and precious uncle here, he just passed away. He was shot up, and so I had to get revenge on that dude who killed himself.
That's a damn shame. Man, Spider-Man 3. I must not remember Spider-Man 3. I thought that's probably why I thought that because he was actually a different villain. But there was 3 villains. See, there was too much shit going on because I can't even remember it 10 years later.
That's why people had a problem with that one. But yeah, Spider-Man 3 was not. It was not an awful idea. It just they took too many things and put them together. Like if they just stuck with the Harry plot, it would have been a great movie because that whole plot was built up through the last 2 movies, and it was interesting to see someone who was like, "Yeah, Peter, you're the best." To what? You're Spider-Man? Nah, but it's on site now.
Fade Runner 27/7. I hope you ready, boys. But yeah,
It's like that's right. I'm even gonna steal your girl. And then there was the amnesia thing where he like forgot, and then like he got close to Mary Jane because he forgot who he was, and then he's like, oh, that's right, I remember now. Hey Peter, I got your girl now, and he's like, whoa,
we ain't had to
Harry.
take it there, Harry. We really didn't.
He's like, Harry, your dad tried to kill me, man. Nah, I loved my dad. You knew that. You took him from me. It's like okay. I just wish he had like a video clip he could play of Godspeed Spider-Man.
Okay, I will admit that is one of the best lines I have ever seen in a movie, bar none. Just Godspeed, Spider-Man.
And then he just jumped over it because he's like, I have spider sense. What are you talking about? He's like, oh.
Just gets impaled by his own glider. I was like, yo.
That is the best form of instant karma I've ever seen in my life.
How you drop the dime on yourself, fam? That's gotta hurt. But yeah, speaking of superhero projects that obviously would never be able to live up to any sort of hype.
Oh no.
In less than 48 hours, it would seem, Titans, the DC live action schlockfest, I'm sure it's gonna turn out to be, will be hitting the online screens everywhere on Netflix and the DC streaming service. And before we get into that, DC streaming service. There's too many streaming services now, all right? There's too many. Especially when there's some where you have a few programs you want to watch here, a few programs you want to watch over there, some on Hulu, Netflix, DC, Crunchyroll. It's getting to a point where like you got to drop like $50 to $70 a month if you want to catch everything. Like there is no like it is no wonder to me why piracy has now shot up through the roof for a lot of these shows.
But that's mainly because that's cable prices. See, okay, here's the thing about that. If Hulu and Netflix were not a thing, these like individual streaming services would not be as bad because it's like, oh, I want to watch shows from HBO and Showtime as much as possible. So I'll pay for HBO and Showtime, like regular cable, except so much cheaper. But since you have Netflix and Hulu, they're like, no, no, no. If you want shows from HBO, Showtime, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, they're all here. Just pay like $5 and you got it. So it's like, well, why would I pay more money if I could just get that guy? Why don't you guys just join up with him? Why don't you just join up with Netflix?
Yeah, but isn't there another one that does like Nickelodeon shows now? I could have swore there's one that specifically got like old Nicktoons. Oh my god! I know. If I saw the name, I would know what it's called.
Is
it called like Nick Splat or some shit like that?
I don't think Nickelodeon has a streaming service right now.
No, it's Nick Splat. It's from VRV, from those people.
Oh,
but I think it's a channel on there called Nick Splat.
They don't have a specific channel for Nickelodeon, right? Not that I can think of, but I think it's just on Verve's regular channel right now.
Yeah, okay. I just want to go look it up. It's a channel called Nick Splat on Verve.
Huh.
It's available with Verve Premium, but it's one of the channels on there, and it's just specifically like Rocko's Modern Life, Hey Arnold, Doug, Cat Dog, etc., Wild Thornberries, Rocket Power. Yeah. So there's a plethora of old stuff that you can go back and look. And I guess at the end of the day, you just got to find the streaming package that works out for you best, or the two that complement each other the best to give you the most options for the type of content that you want to watch.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a company wanting to have their own streaming service, because you have things like FX. They don't have a streaming service, but what they do is they give out their episodes to shows online, and you either have to have a cable subscription, or I think there's an FX account that you can make where you can have access to stuff like that. So
yeah, ESPN has that as well, where you can log in and watch certain games online, provided they're being screened on an ESPN channel. You just got to put in your cable information, and then they'll give it to you.
Yeah, all of that makes sense for DC to do, but for them to have the gall to be like, yeah, we're gonna have our own streaming service, and people are gonna love to watch these shows and movies, but nobody wants to watch any of their live action movies or any of their TV shows besides the ones that are owned by God, what is it's not UPN anymore.
CW?
Yeah, CW. So CW shows are all on Netflix too, so it's like it doesn't help them.
Well, I do remember they said they're going to be taking a lot of stuff off of Netflix and sprinkling it on their main new platform. But apparently they're going to be holding the reboot, revival, the restoration, continuation to the animated Teen Titans at some point. Young Justice season 3 will apparently be behind this paywall as well. The last thing I remember people actually being somewhat hype about was apparently there's a Harley Quinn animated, I don't know if it's a short series, movie, or something, but she's getting her own thing.
She's getting a movie, and it's supposed to be a live action movie.
No, I saw there was an animated trailer that came out the other day. There's no way that's live action. Unless she's getting both. She may be getting two things.
She's probably getting both.
Because I know she's getting an animated something. Okay, she's getting an animated series. Because this was something that they released at New York Comic Con last week, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I do remember seeing it making a few rounds, and it was her getting herself gassed up talking to Poison Ivy. Because, they are officially a lesbian couple now in certain canons.
It was revealed a while ago that they're officially a couple, but I think that stopped. That stopped being a thing in the comics. But
hey, this is an animated series. They can do a whole new smorgasbord of ideas.
Yeah.
Hey, I would infinitely rather her be with Poison Ivy than be with the Joker, because boy.
Yeah, everybody still wants her to be with the Joker because of their dumb, like.
But they
thought
there's
process or
some people who actually think like that's a romantic, healthy relationship about love and trust, no matter how bad it gets. And I'm like, no, that's why some of y'all confused now.
I mean, that got kiboshed when like the Suicide Squad movie came out, and people had to come out and be like, "Hey, the Joker and Harley Quinn are not a good example of
There's
a couple."
there's damn well still people to this day who don't see that, and it's weird that we're using the fucking Suicide Squad movie to teach a lesson. Let that be known.
Okay, to cover that first, I need to go over this. Their romance in Suicide Squad movie was not like abusive at all. It actually, like, the way they cut the film, they made it seem like it was like a real romance.
It was
really
endearing,
for her and whatnot.
Like they both made sacrifices for each other.
So some people are clung to that, or that's all they know. Other people just don't go on the internet and like pay 2 minutes of attention to Harley Quinn and the Joker to see that he just abuses her all the time.
And all you had to do was watch the Batman the Animated Series. There's one time she's like, "I'm trying to be sexy for you, baby." He gave her the hands.
Yeah, Batman the Animated Series is not really like a popular thing anymore. It's old. At the end of the day, it's old. So if they missed it, then they missed it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's episodes where she almost got damn near just taken out, like just off the top.
Yeah, but my point is that newer people are not going to know anything about that. And that's the only reason why they still believe that, Joker and Harley Quinn are, a big thing. Because like the propaganda and whatnot, the people who have like the t-shirts and whatnot of, oh my God, he totally loves her. He like, do everything. He fights Batman for her. And like it shows them together in their relationship. But
I mean, even in some of the newer comics, like Joker didn't even realize that a new Harley took the old Harley's place because he was so fixated on Batman. But I understand there's a lot of fans who are super casual. If it's not on the silver screen, they don't fucking know about it. If it went direct to DVD, Netflix, Hulu, some other streaming service, I guess the DC streaming platform now, comic book, there's a lot of people out there who just don't know about it. The only time they know about it is if it's in the Arkham games.
I could go on about Harley for like ages. I still have a lot of love for the character, regardless of how popular she is for like dumb reasons. But yeah, Joker and Harley Quinn are bad. Harley Quinn and Ivy is cute, but it's definitely not going to last. It was publicity stunt, unfortunately. The standalone movie is not going to make sense. Just like speaking of standalone movies, more screenshots of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie have come out.
Okay. Do you like what you see?
No. Like he just looks like a clown. So I'm thinking maybe it's like some sort of gimmick where he's actually not going to look like that the whole movie, and they're just doing that to like get people to get enraged so that they'll see it. But I don't think there's a need for a Joker standalone movie.
I'm in the same boat with you because, to be honest, while a Joker movie, yeah, I understand that's great and all, blah, 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 so on and so forth. My main problem is just like DC needs to get a firm grasp on a direction and they need to stick with it, because you have Suicide Squad Joker, which is Jay Leto, and all of a sudden we're just like, nope, it's going to be Joaquin Phoenix in his own new thing that's completely unrelated. And then the only other interesting thing that looks good out of the DC live action universe little campaign that they got going on here is the Captain Marvel movie, which is also not going to be part of the DC cinematic universe. It's also its own one-off thing.
You know what? You calling it that actually like confused me for a second.
Oh God, there is two Captain. Oh my God!
That's why he
No! Oh, I didn't see. I did it to myself. I bodied myself because he's Captain Marvel. Because remember, that's who he is. I forgot that we have to call him Shazam now because there's two Captain Marvels now. Because Marvel has their Captain Marvel, whose movie is going to probably make infinitely more money than DC's Captain Marvel. Sorry, fam. And wow, there's gonna be some people who are gonna be in the comment section who are gonna be like, "What are you talking about? Captain Marvel's a Marvel character. That's why Marvel's in it." It's gonna happen. We're gonna get one of those.
I mean, sure, but Billy Batson was originally Captain Marvel, and then legal things ensued, and now he's Shazam. So whatever. He also the Wizard by canon. So the actual Wizard is gone, and Billy Batson is the Wizard for whatever reason. But we could go on about that sort of thing forever. DC is going to reboot it in like 2 months, anyways, probably.
Yeah, I mean it'll be the same with New 52. Actually, in the past 6 years, how many times has the DC comic universe been like rebooted? At least 4, right?
There was New 52, and then when people complained about New 52, they made Rebirth to bring back certain things that were lost in New 52. So, well, there's whatever Flashpoint. Well, no, Flashpoint brought about New 52. So, at least two
twice?
or three. Yeah, at least twice.
Okay, twice. All right. I know it always feels like they're rebooting something some kind of way every 6 months. I don't know why it feels that way sometimes.
It's just that with DC, they also have like all these other like universes and or like comic series that are branching off or not part of the same mainstay DC universe that they have going on, which is confusing. Like there was a whole thing where Justice League, the whole Justice League was fighting against Darkseid, and all of them became gods of something. Like Batman got the Watcher's chair, and so he gained all of the knowledge of the world. Superman became like the god of something, and he was like black and white for some reason. Like Superman was monochrome, and I think he was like the god of power. There was some other nonsense that went about that, and then after they beat Darkseid, it was just like, okay, we're done. Like all of this can be forgotten now.
Apparently on New 52.
Yeah.
All right. That is good to know. But I will say there is one comic that I thought was really, really dope that came. Batman White Knight. Good comic series. Mr. Napier is pretty fucking sick. Just a little plug. That's the only time I will plug something DC on this podcast, probably. Every now and then, they come out with that diamond in the rough.
Says the Injustice 2 player.
That's not them. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Injustice is not DC, huh?
Nah, I said good.
Injustice is not DC, huh?
No, I said it. What I said it's not good. I said every now and then DC comes out with something good. You said
the story for Injustice is pretty great.
Oh yeah. If you mean the comics, yeah, sure. But if you mean the game, the second one, the first game was alright. Yeah, the first game was dope. Comics, all right. Well, I'll clap for that. Yeah.
Yeah, the first game was dope until Batgirl.
Look, we don't talk about those times, all right? The trying times in the kingdom of peace.
Those the end times of the game, so it didn't matter that much.
Also, fuck Martian Manhunter. That I also feel as though that needs to be said right now.
Most people didn't even get to ride that train because they're too busy going, yeah, Martian Manhunter. Oh my god, Batgirl.
You Vortex, I'm hit. Orb. Like, no one cared about his orbs and his safe overhead teleport nonsense. I mean, it wasn't like the safest thing in the game, but I mean, if you blocked it, you had to hold that shit 9 times out of 10. It was pretty oof.
Yeah.
Big boy oof. I hate big boy.
I mean, DC has some pretty good things like that. The Batman event, God, the DC metal event for Batman where they had all the Batmans from the dark. Um, I don't know why I'm losing the word for it, but like what I'm talking about. The dark the multiverse Batman who are like basically every big villain in DC imagined as Bruce Wayne being them. And Bruce Wayne being the Flash, which was all of it was pretty dope. But like at the same time, it was just like
Speaking of DC thing, something triggered in my mind when when we had that little thing about, oh, that wasn't good, and we thought about DC. Maybe I'm tripping balls. About 3 or 4 years ago, 2014, 2015, wasn't there a DC game called like Infinite Crisis or some shit like that? Like it was supposed to be like a MOBA game, like in the same vein as like League of Legends, but just with DC characters.
Yeah, that was the thing.
How long did it last?
Not very long, from what I remember.
All right, was it called Infinite Crisis? Was that actually what it was called?
I think so. It was Infinite something.
All right, let me go. Crisis. There it is. Infinite Crisis was a 2015 multiplayer online battle arena mobile game. Based on these comics, developed Turbine, blah, 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 blah. As of August 14th, 2015, Infinite Crisis and its servers were shut down. It came out in March of the same. It lasted, 5 months? Oh, didn't even make half of a year.
Yeah, it came out around the time League of Legends was like popping. And so it was competing with League of Legends. And the problem was that you couldn't have a game like that compete with League of Legends as if League was just dead all of a sudden.
Because even if you couldn't compete with League, it's not like you were also then just going to beat Dota 2. That wasn't happening either.
Exactly.
And there clearly is not enough player base to go around in that genre. I'm sorry. They either love League, Dota. I think people are really somewhat, and I mean somewhat, geeked up on Heroes of the Storm. But even then, they see a high influx of players every time there's an Overwatch skin that gets put over there.
Yeah. It would have been better if that game was just like a skin for League or something. Like guest characters for League of Legends or something.
Maybe. But speaking of like mobile games, I don't know if any of you guys remember this game called Super Monday Night Combat. Because Monday Night Combat was dope. Super Monday Night Combat? Press F to pay respects. That's all I'll say about that game. Me and Cardis played it a while back when it like first came out. And we were like, yeah, man, this might be dope. But then we saw how bad it was if you could snowball. Like, if a character snowballs, just everyone on the other team just alt F4. It's time for you to just give it up. Because I forgot the character's name, but he kind of looked like Deadpool, but he could like spark through, and he could spark through walls and solid objects. And dark times in the kingdom. And I only bring that up because there's various games that try to create this this MOBA feel behind them, and they're really putting themselves behind the 8 ball because there's two like just giants that are gonna stomp them out. Like, did you know there's a survival horror? I don't know why I said it like I'm New Yorker. A survival horror battle royale game. Hear about this?
I heard something about it, but I didn't really care too much for it.
All right, I just figured I would. I think the game was called Hide or Die. I really want to say that's what it was.
Yeah, that sounds really familiar.
And it was like they had like mini bosses on the field that were like, Cthulhu or like, Lycan. If you kill it, you get a buff. But if you kill it, everyone knows who you are. So you get a buff, but now everyone knows where you are. So it was kind of like, the give and take and, stuff like that. And like it had interesting concepts. Only problem is you didn't have the shoot or the melee run or various other things that makes Fortnite infinitely appealing to kids. The main demographic of the people who are really going to be really trying to drive the financial parts of your game. Also, if you're not going the free-to-play route, it's definitely going to be tough for you to compete. There's a lot of factors there. Fortnite has ticked all the boxes for that genre to do really, really well. And now they're even doing a thing where it's like, I think everybody who's a content creator, it said cosplayers, video makers, memers, people who do art, you can now get some sort of, not a sponsorship, get some sort of stipend for your creations as long as you sign up by December 31st. I'll look into that real quick. Like Fortnite creators, something. Yeah, Epic Games launches an event to reward Fortnite content creators with real money. So that's a whole thing. So the creator of the game basically announced that, there'll be a new program called Support a Creator Event, which will let content creators for the game make money. The event's already begun and apparently will be live up until December. So basically it's allowing people to be commissioned, which is a very interesting thing to do, if you ask me. You can't say that the people over there aren't taking care of their own. You can't say that.
Yeah.
That is a level of support that I think all developers should strive for. Because, we all know one developer that will never even attempt to even look in the general direction of what they're doing over there. Something. A company that's not going to do anything Epic Games has done for their community. Good old EA.
That company just wants the money, for the sports.
You're right. But I don't know if you've heard about this, but the FIFA roll odds for their loot boxes were, I don't know if they were leaked or just published in general. But the point is, apparently for the players to watch or the players to look out for, basically the premium special players, which are, the super high coveted cards that people really need, that give you access to players who get stat buffs as the season goes along, allow to progress and are just like the super creme de la creme. They have a less than 1% drop rate. Now, having a less than 1% drop rate for something in a game, it's not criminal. You see it with shiny Pokemon. You see it in a lot of online MMOs or dungeon raid beat 'em ups where, you got certain drops that you can get. Some of them are super exceptionally rare. However, in this case, they want you to spend money because a lot of these cards are only available for like 10 days, which, just in case you didn't know, is less than 2 weeks. Which means if you grind and you grind and you grind and you get 200 packs, there's a chance that you might get 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky, if you're beating the odds. If you get 3, congratulations. However, the problem is they'll release 23 at a time. Then they'll rotate a few of them out, which means there's a good chance that you just never going to get this guy because he's not going to be there. And these aren't just like your average Joes. These are people who are the premier football players of their era. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of interesting how that goes, if you ask me. What are your thoughts on it?
I think EA is just being really greedy at this point. That whole scam is just nonsense for the few people who still dedicate themselves to buying FIFA games all the time and like trying to play FIFA games like that. Like it's making it so difficult for them to stay dedicated to any of those to that series, just because of the fact that EA is trying to like make them pay to get the progress that they want and basically make it so that they have to pay to enjoy their game, which is stupid in all accounts. Like every company that's doing that right now is just really annoying. That goes into fighting games definitely, with Soul Calibur 6 on the stretch over here, where I've got to pre-order a season pass to get a character that was introduced in Soul Calibur 3 and has been in every game since. Like, come on now.
Oh, yeah, okay, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, you have to pre-order the season pass to get Tira, even though Tira was playable in the network test. So yeah,
they're just hiding a relatively staple character behind the fucking paywall. That's butt. That is actually cheeks.
I remember talking to someone about it the other day, and I was like, Tira's not included as a pre-order bonus, and someone was like, no, she is. And like, I looked it up the other day, and I was like, no, she's definitely a pre-order bonus for a season pass, which is wild because you have to pre-order a season pass.
That is cheeks. So let me get this straight. Let's just say you don't pre-order the game and you just get the season pass. She will not be available to season pass owners.
She'll be available to season pass owners because she's included in the season pass. But the season pass comes with only 2 characters, and then you get like pieces for like create a character stuff, and then I think there's like it's like music or stages or something else. It's like literally 2 characters, 3 pieces for create a character, and then there's like I think it said 5 of some other thing that's just like purely for like your own personal one player experience.
Okay, no, apparently, well, you know I don't really trust this website. Apparently, according to Dan Scrubs, the official Soul Calibur Twitter account has confirmed that Tira will be included as a bonus for the season pass. She is not a pre-order bonus.
Yep.
So she's not a pre-order bonus.
Yes, exactly.
So she would just be available as a standalone DLC character as well. Yeah, it's fine. She shouldn't be a DLC character, period. But she's not. You don't have to pre-order to get her. Okay. You were making
Think
it seem
it this way though. What is the launch roster for that game? Like one new character, one guest character, and characters where people have been like, well, of course they're going to be in that game. And there's still more characters that are left out. Where it's
I'm not saying that it's not stupid, but the way you was making it seem like they was just like out here just trying to give you the fresh boom. All right.
I mean, they definitely either buy the character standalone or pre-order the season pass. That's the only way you can get that character.
No, it says she's not you don't pre-order to get her. She's actually in the season pass, is what they're saying.
Yeah, she's in the season pass as a bonus to the season pass. Like you get her early for pre-ordering the season pass, not for pre-ordering the game.
Oh, okay, all right, I see what you. I got you. Like if you were to pre-order the game, you're still just gonna get the vanilla, even though you spent a little bit of money to reserve your copy. But if you pre-order the season pass, which for the most part is a digital fucking item, but then you get rewarded for all right. That's a little bit more dumb, but I thought you meant like if you pre-ordered the season pass, you got it. But if you just bought the season pass and pre-ordered the game, but bought the season pass, you didn't get her.
No, she's one of the 2 characters that you get in the season pass.
Wait, you only get 2? What else do you get in that season pass?
It should be in that same article there.
All right, we previously knew that a season pass was on the way for the Soul Calibur title. Bonus character. Wow. Verify that tier is available. Pass. Pre-order the season pass to get tier day 1. 3 additional playable characters, armor packs in the.
Okay, 3 additional characters. Okay, that's good. No, it's not. But
well, how much is the season pass? It doesn't have the price here.
I don't even know if they even put out how much the season pass is.
Well, if you were able to pre-order, because the game comes out in 6 days, there better be a goddamn price tag on it. Holy fucking shit, dude! There better be a price on this. There better be. All right, so regular edition is $60, obviously. Collector's edition is $150. Physical deluxe, which is obviously that's about $30 season pass.
Well, are you counting that as something that's a part of those deluxe editions? Because you got to make sure those even come with the season pass.
You're right. I got to do that. There's some people who are like, man, get the collector's edition. Doesn't come with the DLC. What?
Going back to the whole EA thing, it's like trying to charge people for playing the game just makes you think, what am I spending $60 on? Because if I have to pay more money for loot boxes to get that makes me think of like Dragon Ball, Overwatch, where it's like, oh, all these cosmetic things that would be really nice to have, I can't even spend regular money on. I have to go for the RNG and hope that I get
Now,
these things.
I will say this: Dragon Ball literally skeets the money away. Like they give you in-game currency up the butt. So after like a couple of months of actually playing the game religiously, you'll be able to get most of the things you want. You may not get the colors you want. Hey, bro, I look. Trust
the key word is religiously. If you're not playing the game religiously, though, you're not really getting that kind of money.
You got to remember, every time you boot up the game, like every 2 months, you pop in there. Sorry, man, servers went down. Here's a free 200K.
Yeah, but you still got to spend all that on RNG, which includes getting like stamps and things that you don't even care about instead of these colors. Like there's so many times I use that money in the shop and I don't even get colors. I just get lobby avatars, which I can only choose one, so it's not.
But here's the thing that bothers me is I think in every other Arc System Works game, where Arc System Works even had a slight hint in the development, there was like a little store area that you go to, and you could buy whatever color you want individually. The price may be
still can.
The price may be, but yeah, but I mean, like it wasn't free. What was it? In Cross Tag Battle, I know it's there. I know it's there in Guilty Gear Rev 2.
The thing is, CrossTag gives it to you in the store and just says, "Here's money. Buy the colors that you want and stuff like that right here." It's not RNG, like open a box and hope that you get the colors, but you spent the money that you have. Like if Dragon Ball was like, here, if you don't want to use RNG to get these, use a little bit more in-game currency to get some of these colors that you do want, or some of these costumes that you do want. Because like right now they have the Halloween event. Once Halloween is over and you don't have that stuff, are you screwed? Just like Overwatch, where you have to wait until
an entire
Halloween
year.
Comes back?
You gotta wait an entire year. Because, like, in Overwatch, they drop currency a lot. But let me tell you something about that currency. I decided I was going to save up loot boxes. I was going to save up. I got to 46 loot boxes. I opened up on stream earlier today. So, trust me when I tell you, I went from 0 coins to 1,800 coins. Now, you may be saying, 1,800, that's not bad. That's enough for a legendary skin. Bitch, you thought these event legendary skins are 3K.
3K. Yeah, 3K, always.
And you're not going to be able to level up 50 times. 50 times?
Not unless you don't have a life.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not going to be able to live 50 times in the course of, like, a 3-4 week event. So, even if you were able to do that, you are not going to be guaranteed to be able to buy the skin that you want off skins alone. You better hope it comes from the RNG. Because I've had a time in the Christmas event, I wanted to buy the Rhyme Somber skin. And I couldn't get it. Because, that's right, only a 2850 coin. Not the 3,000 required.
And there's not really anything you can do to get coins in Overwatch besides open loot boxes, right? And
no, you only get them from loot boxes and getting duplicates.
That's the problem with that. There's no other way for you to get the currency that you can use to get costumes if you can't get them in loot boxes. And it's like, I might as well just try and get loot boxes.
Right?
In which case that entices people to pay money for loot boxes, which is what EA is trying to.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's like, psychological manipulation, but I mean, in and of itself, that's not entirely an incorrect statement. Because like once you hit like level, because the way Overwatch does it is, it's easy to go level up when you're like level 01 to 09, somewhat easy from 10 to 25. But then after that, like, you are grinding for these levels.
Yep.
And the one nice thing that they did, and by nice, let's get the air quotes out here, was when you get to level 100, from level 100 to level 125 is the same amount of EXP needed from level 0 to level 25. But once again, that is a huge grind, because what if at the beginning of the event, you're in your 60s or 70s? Like, you ain't about to be getting it with the loot boxes unless you spend the money, you know?
Yeah.
And that in and of itself is pretty. Speaking of spending the money, I think a lot of you may have been fans of that old series I had called Patrol on Patreon. Trust me, the videos are still up if you need to see them. And basically, it's where I would look at people who'd made Kickstarters, Patreons, GoFundMes, various other hot nonsense where people would be asking, we want $350 so we can start a makeup YouTube channel, or I want $350 to play a game on YouTube that's free to play and start a YouTube channel, as if YouTube channels aren't something that you can start up for free and a free to play game. Excuse me. Is what's that word? Free to play.
Yeah, but clout, that's not free.
Boy, let me stop you right there, Chief. Also, there's another thing that Patreons do, that a lot of people who have Patreons do, that gets under my skin. It makes me nervous. But it'll say, like, like on the left, it'll have their goals on what they want per month,
Yeah.
And it'll say some nonsense like, with $250 a month, we can buy a camera. And it's like, so you buy, yeah, it's like the we part's not even what I have a problem with. It's just like, so is you buying a camera every month?
Yeah.
Like, if that's one of your monthly goals, that's a one-time purchase. So, like, if you had $247, are we just not buying the camera till we get that next $3? Like, I'm really trying to figure out some of these questions. You feel me? But in and of itself, that is what it is. But one of the people that was featured on my channel has dropped from 73 patrons to 11 patrons. Now, I hope they're in good health, because their last Patreon post was June 9th. So for all I know, they could be hurt. I'm just saying, you lost about 60 people? 62 people? Which
maybe she's got a new Patreon, or she's got a new racket.
Hey, maybe she's got a new racket. Maybe she's got a new job. Maybe funds are coming in a little bit differently now. Who knows? There's some YouTube.
Maybe she's on a campsite now.
Whoa, chill. Food. Yo, the eating food hustle is the realest thing on the planet. I did not know people came that far out of pocket to watch women eat.
That's mainly popular in
Japan,
Asian countries,
and stuff like that.
Japan and Korea, but it's catching on here because the girls that are eating the food are people that some people just want to look at.
Okay, I mean, whatever creeper thing these people got going on, whatever, dude. But here's the thing. There's another one who apparently their Patreon got deleted because, I don't know if you guys remember this. I know a couple of you have seen the video in the chat, but tell me if this rings a bell. There was a chick for $250 a month. She would Periscope herself buying panties to you. And she'll buy the panties, and apparently she'll wear them for a day, and then she will send you the used soaky panties and pantyhose if you spend $300 a month in the mail to you. And it was like an extra $60 if you lived outside of the continental U.S. per month. And I'm like, are people buying this? Like, hello? Like, what the...
I'd have a better chance of just going out and like buying a pair of my own, or just accosting some people outside a store. Like, excuse me, would you like to do this for me?
Yo, first off, you're going to jail immediately if you try to do some shit like that. Excuse me, madam, $300 for your panties? Like, first off, you would be on Fox 5, Channel 2. You'd be on national news. Michael Strahan would be talking about your ass in the morning.
You'd be surprised.
I guess I would. I mean, if you go into a nightclub and you're like, "Hey, girl, them panties looking cute. I see Pikachu right there. Yo, you want to throw them over here?" Like, all right.
Who does that? What nightclubs are you going?
Look, man, we live in Atlanta, all right? I've also been to Atlantic City. I've also been to Biloxi.
Don't use Atlanta as a scapegoat for that nonsense. That nonsense doesn't fly here.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna just say, yeah, all right, keep that thing moving right along, fam.
We got some very bougie women at these clubs now. They'll look at you saying all that nonsense and be like, "Excuse me, you got to cash at me $200 first, sir."
And it's like, but I'm trying to give you 300. Like that, what? Quick maths. Yeah, that'd be wild. Anyways, there's another one here who completely redid their Patreon, and the dude, like, legit, like, the top 2 rewards are not even gone anymore. Like, they're gone. Like, he doesn't even have them up there anymore because he come on, they know better. Then you have people who are like, turn off the pesky ad block and fuck the fans, and there was a whole dude that was trying to use Jesus to get pussy as his Patreon scam. That was a very interesting. That was an interesting time to be alive.
That's an age-old thing. I hope you understand that.
Oh, I know it's an age-old thing, but like combining it with Patreon, that was the unspeakable evil. like you out here paying this man monthly so he could preach the word of his penis to random girls on the internet. All right, that's what I don't need. And the thing was that the dude made a trailer where it was like, oh, like it might as well be playing the old like Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger menu theme in the background while he's on a mission trip. Oh, it was bad, dude. I'm telling you, some people on the internet are 100% wilding, and they know they're wilding, but the average bear, for some reason, can't help but get out of their own way and just throw money at the people. So, I mean, it is what it is. But,
hey, man, some people get bored at home.
Hey, man, look, I understand that, but you can't be so bored to where you're going to spend $150 just to get access to somebody's Snapchat. I'm sorry. I don't understand that one. That is a common reward.
Why don't you DM those people and tell them to leave their house? That way they won't be so bored that they, give up the money for that. Otherwise, they're just going to give it up because they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe she'll talk to me on there.
I mean, I will say that. I think dudes are infinitely more thirsty than women on average because, man, some of the stuff that I see, like, just read Reddit, guys. Just read Reddit, and you'll see everything within the first 2 hours of downloading the app. Trust.
You got to tell them, you got to direct them to the right places. You got to go to the right subreddits.
No, you don't even have to go to the right subreddit, all right? I can go to the homepage and find some hot nonsense. But if you want a quick directory, you could try Our Nice Guys. That's always a good read. That's always hilarious.
It's dedicated to that kind of nonsense. It's dedicated to like incels and whatnot. So,
but incels are also a weird bunch in and of their own self. Man,
the government should give me a wife.
Yeah, dude. Oh, you saw that too? Yo, that was the most disrespectfully wild thing I've seen all of 2018. And this is an era where Trump exists. That was a wild post. And it wasn't just one post. It was a series of people like, yeah, that's right. There should be government mandated pussy. I was like, what? They were saying stuff like, if a girl is ugly to most dudes and can't get anything, she should be thrown into a harem for us dudes to pick from the litter. I was like, yo, who are these people?
People who have been on the internet, like that's not new.
Nah, fam, I've been on the internet. Don't you throw the internet on us? Don't you use an internet as the scapegoat?
It's not new. Like
I didn't say it was new, but I'm just saying they are getting bold now, and like they need to catch the hands. Like someone needs to give them the hammer of justice.
Nah, they're just getting bolder. The internet has already made them bold. It's just that now that they're being listened to, and that there's more of them, they're getting bolder. It's like, one guy is like, yeah, the government should give me a wife, and then 2 guys go, you know what, that guy's making sense, and that's how they get bold.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because now the internet has made the world such a smaller place. Dumb people with dumb interests can now link up a whole lot easier than they could in years past. So now they believe that there's strength in numbers. I mean, let's face it here, folks. You got people on YouTube right now. There are actually groups of people on YouTube defending themselves being pedophiles. I know, bizarre. Why? There was a dude who was like, "Yeah, I may masturbate the kids. They may be 3 or 4 years old." And I was like, "Yo, get this man off! Not only get this man off the internet, get this man off the planet, get this man in the grave." I'm not saying I'm an advocate for murder, but I'm just saying natural selection might need to accelerate its fucking course on this one. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you got to think about it like this. How do you think, like, how successful do you think furries and like groups like that were before the internet allowed them to like have like a forum where they could just be like, "Hey, I'm into this," and then like 6 other people go, "You know what? I'm into that too." Yeah.
It's like, yeah. Look, man. Look, I know that we all have our disagreements with the furry folk, but I need to make a huge clarification point here. Just because we use y'all in the same breath does not mean we are comparing y'all to pedophiles, all right? Or incels. Now y'all might have some in y'all's ranks, but we are not saying if you furry equal pedophile and
That was not in the same breath. That was your breath for the pedophile stuff and my breath for the furry.
Yeah, but then the first thing you linked was like, "Yeah, man, these I just wanted to make sure. There's some people in the furry fandom who I've learned are not the sharpest tools in the shed. And I just didn't want them to connect dots that weren't meant to be connected. That's all I'm saying.
Anybody who's reaching that hard needs to just close their, turn off their computer, stand up and walk outside, stay there for 5 minutes.
And just say, "Man, this is what I've been missing?"
No, they don't even have to say anything. They just have to stay outside for 5 minutes. And then as soon as they walk back inside, they'll just be like, why was I thinking like that? I don't understand. Huh.
You'll put them in timeout?
No, they just needed to cool off. They just need to stay away from the screen for a few minutes and they come back and they're good.
No, man, what they come back and they're even stronger than before.
That's a problem. Like,
get some help.
You don't want somebody who reaches that hard to come back and be like, I'm gonna
go even further beyond.
They become like an NPC in an episode of Law and Order SVU.
Oh God, please no, dude. Yo, Law and Order SVU is wild, and apparently the new season has just kicked off with the biggest of bangs.
Do you want me to go into that right now?
You might as well explain it to the people. I know some of you guys may not watch SVU, but just listen to this from an abstract plot description.
Okay, here is the plot of the first 2 episodes, because they had a 2-episode premiere and they were connected because they've introduced continuity into the series after the last like 2 or 3 seasons now. So first episode, you've got a boy. He's going out. He's hunting with like his dad and his older brother, and he's aiming at a bunny, and his dad is like, "Go on, son, shoot the bunny." And he's like, "I can't do it, Dad. I can't hurt that innocent creature." And then his dad is just kind of like, "Oh, it's all right, son." Lo and behold, when they get home, the dad is like, "You're not, like, you couldn't shoot a bunny. You're not a man." And then he just unzips his pants and the man like he assaults his son. He's like, if you're gonna act like a woman, I'm gonna treat you like one. That kind of nonsense. And so he goes to school. They notice. They're asking questions. They're like,
before you go any further, let me play the role of Ice-T. So you mean to tell me that this sick fuck saw that his son couldn't pull the trigger on a rabbit, so he pulled the trigger on his butt cheeks? That's not right. What type of world we living in today?
Ice-T has now gone from being that guy to becoming the guy who's just like, man, y'all don't even understand. I done seen it all at this point.
Oh, he's the veteran now? Finally, Ice-T's the veteran. Thank you. All right, but go on with so far. The kid couldn't shoot a bunny, so he said, "Oh, yeah. If you can't hunt, then I got to be the booty hunter." And he took out his son. Go on.
so they start investigating this, and then like a day after they're investigating this and they're getting close, the dad comes out and he's like, "Go on, son, tell them." And then he's like, he's like, the reason that my son had those blood stains is because he's actually homosexual, and he met a man, and he had some rough sex with a man. And it's like, what? This man not only outed his son, but he said that his son went to a bar, got drunk, and found some older dude to do some
Wait, first
nonsense.
off, how old was his son?
His son was 15.
What's he doing going to a bar? Nothing about this entire story even made a remote lick of sense. Like, what? Hello?
Exactly. So after that, um, they enticed the wife to confess because they could tell that she knew something, and the wife was like, I actually walked in the room, and like he was lying on the bed, and like I saw my husband zipping up his pants, and like I saw the blood, and like he zipped his pants. He just walked right by me. He didn't say anything until we got into bed later that night, and he looked at me and he's like, "Don't tell anybody about this." And so she made her testimony, and somehow, even though she testified in a court of law that she saw these things happen, his lawyer was so like aggressive towards her about the whole thing that he put so much doubt into the jurors that the guy got off. He was innocent. He was proven innocent. So in the second episode, because he was proven innocent, the kid like just lost his mind. Like one day he just woke up and he was just like, "I've had it." And so he brought like a bunch of guns to the school and was like, "Oh, Dad doesn't think I'm a man because I can't shoot a bunny." Well, and then he just starts like shooting up the school. And so it was wild. Like he killed like random kids that he knew that he was like he had no problems with them or anything like that. He literally just came to school and started shooting. And so the wild thing is that he's with his older brother, and they kind of like hint that the older brother had the same kind of treatment, but he never came out and just said, "Oh, it happened to me too," or whatever. So the older brother's like, "Hey, you good, man? Hey, man, just remember, just meet me out after class. If anything's going on, like I won't let anybody hurt you again." And he's like, "Yeah, okay." And right after that, the boy just walks into the school and just starts shooting. And so they tied that. They used the defense of saying that because of what happened, because of what his dad did, and the way that his dad treated him with like toxic masculinity and whatnot. Because of that, it's what triggered him to go into the school and shoot up the school, because the whole time oh, he's like, "Am I a man now, Dad? Am I a man now?" Like that kind of nonsense. And
I have to say something real quick, all right? Because something tilts me about this. I actually went to go look up the episodes, and I'm pissed. I'm so pissed.
Why?
The name of the episode where he gets assaulted is Man Up, because he told him to man up. And the episode where he shoots the kids is called Man Down. No! Oh my god, what the
It is so wild. Like, so that episode happens, and they take him to court. The kid is in court, and like it is very, very obvious that like there's something messed up with him, but he won't just outright admit that it's his dad. And then finally he just kind of snaps, and like someone's interviewing him about like how his dad treats him, and he's just like, yeah, he's like, and he says things like, "Oh, if you're not gonna be a man, if you're not gonna act like a man, I'm gonna treat you like a girl." And then everybody's like, "Whoa." And the kid had like a huge smile on his face when he was saying stuff like that, and they're just like, "Yeah, that dad did it." And the dad had a look on his face like, "What have I done to my son?" And it's like, "What do you mean?" That dude, he came out with like the prison rule, son.
That man turned into a cheek buster in the house.
That was the wildest thing. And like the episode after that was they they found some like child sex ring, child trafficking, sex trafficking like ring or whatever. But like the dude who they like busted had a child who was like 7 years old. This little girl was like her mom was an illegal immigrant who crossed the border to get away from like gang violence or something,
Okay.
and so she was literally like taken away from her mom while they detained her mom and given to a foster family, and she ran away from the foster family, and then this dude just like picked her up at a bus station and was just like, yeah, you're mine now. And so it went from them busting the guy for having these underage girls and like selling them on like Craigslist and whatnot, um, to it becoming this whole big like immigration parable, because of the little girl and how they're like, oh, she can't see her mom because because they're treating her mom like trash because her mom just wanted to be safe, and the person who was supposed to take her into the country like legally legit just like dished her at the border and was like, you on your own.
Oof. Big oof. Tell you, man, Law and Order SVU. That let me say that is one of the best workout shows of all time. Because like, and I mean that from the nicest place. Like, you'll be in the middle of your workout and you're like, man, I don't know if I'll make this work, and then that show pop up on the little screen at the gym or at your house if you're working out at home, and like you get so lost in the plot while you working out. Either two things are gonna happen: you stop working out and you just start getting fixated on the show. Or by the time the show's over, you done your whole workout. It's over for you. Like, you're done. You go ahead and clock out. It's a double-edged sword there, but damn, you can't deny that it's one of those shows that could just suck you in. No pun intended. No, because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to my family members, bro. Like, they'll be like, I'm just gonna watch an episode. I go ahead and have my day, blah 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 blah. I come back, bro. You still watching it? I can't stop. It's just right when one episode ends, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna change the channel. They cut to the next episode, and the Benson's just like got some crazy stuff going on.
It is like, so they always try to tie it to like current events, but the thing that's annoying about it is that, like, okay, they have, first off, this like Reddit 4chan like thing called Red Chan, even though 4chan and Reddit exist in the Law and Order universe. Like, all these things that they reference, they already exist in the Law and Order universe. Like, there's an episode that's supposed to make fun of like go on the Beyonce thing, and like when the actual event happens, they're like, oh man, that's just like the whole Jay-Z and Beyonce thing that just happened last week. And it's like, why would you make the episode a reference to that? But
if
then
you're just
say,
gonna
oh,
say
yeah,
it like straight up.
yeah.
Where's Filthy Frank? Because all right, all right, chat. I'm over here again. But yeah, any closing thoughts you got? I think we've pretty much extended our time here. It's almost 3 a.m.
First off, don't use Kickstarter to scam people out of their hard-earned cash.
Forget Kickstarter. Don't use any of these can I get money platforms to scam anyone out of any amount of money. I don't care if it's GoFundMe, Kickstarter, Patreon. What's the other? Indiegogo. There you go.
If you're getting scammed by Indiegogo at this point, then you've got to really reassess your life there.
Gotta go outside for 5 minutes.
Go outside for 10 minutes.
Gotta double the timer. I understand. Now I think about it, is there anyone who's on Patreon and their entire gimmick is they troll people? That's what they're getting paid to do. Like, are there paid professional trolls out there? That is a question.
There's probably at least one.
I'm sure there's one, but like, man, what a world we live in where you could be an active troll and get paid for it. We are truly in the darkest of timelines.
Also, as the man of the covenant has once said, stop being a slave to the flesh. That will solve all these Patreon because I mean, most of the time it's just women who are like, yeah, that's right. If you pay $500 for my tier 6, gold tier Patreon level here, you might be able to have a phone call with me. It's like,
I
come
mean,
on,
but here's the
guy.
thing, though. It's dudes doing it, too. Like, they don't have the lewd scam going on, but they got the whole, hey, dog, I'm making this really, 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 really cheap, low maintenance thing. Like, all right, did you know there's a dude who has a Patreon, and do you know what he uploads?
What?
He uploads full NCAA and NFL games. He just cuts out the commercials, and he just cuts out the what do you call it? The timeouts.
That man deserves all the money. He is a genius. Like,
That man is what? Yo, that nah, fam, nah. I call that the young scam.
That's the kind of content that you find on like YouTube and like Twitch for free.
Do you know?
This dude is like, no, pay me for it.
But it's on YouTube.
Exactly.
But the thing that
he's making money.
And you know what kills me about it though? When the dude who does it, like his highlights are ass. Like his editing ability sucks. It's trash. But here's the thing. Anybody who has a hustle like this, whether you're selling lewds, selling butt plug photo sets, you're selling sports videos, do you enjoy the money? I'm not gonna knock your hustle. Get the bag. All I'm saying is, man, I at least deserve the right to be like, yo, this is fucking stupid. Why are you paying for this, people? I blame the people who pay for it more than I blame the people who create the content. That's what I'm saying.
Well, as far as that sort of thing goes, that goes in with like people who pay for like sex work and whatnot. Like you can't really too hard for it because if more people were willing to do that, we'd have less incels. But that sort of thing, you can't knock it too hard. It's like the only reason why they're making the money they are is because there's a demand for it. And the demand is more of the problem, but you can't be like, hey, guy who can't go outside and have a conversation with a woman, how dare you pay to have pictures of this woman, or pay this woman to talk to you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't hate them too much for it, but there is a problem because there's a need for it.
Oh.
That's it.
Yeah, there you go. That is my well thought out, rehearsed, solemn rebuttal to what you just said. Yo, next time someone tries to come at you with any type of research, just hit him with the young That'll end the argument right there.
Oh, always.
Situation diffused. Some dude sitting in your hotel room. I don't get enough head for this. Yeah, it's over for him.
That guy.
Yeah, we will regale you with some. I think we'll save convention tales for next week.
All I'm gonna say is, I did not want to be laying in my bed and have some guy sit there and make it seem like he's about to attack me while I'm trying to be in a very comfortable position. Like I was mad off of the thought of that alone.
You're like, I was trying to go to sleep, but I got to stay up because I might end up on SVU.
Exactly.
As a reference.
I got to stay up because this dude's trying to put me on Law and Order Criminal Intent.
Did you see Anthony Anderson? He didn't make it. I keep forgetting that he's in some of the Law and Order right there. Like, isn't he? Like, he's one of the main characters in Criminal Intent for a while, right?
I think it was Criminal Intent or Law and Order Vanilla, but he was also a main. Like, he was in like 2 or 3 episodes of Law and Order SVU, and he was supposed to be a main character, and that did not work out.
Well, can't always have it the way. I like if you type in Anthony Anderson, it auto completes the law. Okay, so he is in vanilla Law and Order. All right.
Still?
He might be.
That's wild because of Blackish. What? But actually, did Blackish end? Because I know that there's that spinoff now where one of the daughters is in college or something like that now.
I do believe Blackish is still going. I don't
That always
remember it
baffles me.
having a definitive. But it's very rare that you see that type of stuff where a main series and its spinoff run concurrently. You don't normally see that too often. Normally, there's a conclusion and then a continuation of some sort, even if it's a spinoff. Not they're both still going.
You know what's more amazing? Seeing a main series and its spinoff die pretty much at the same time. Here's the Walking Dead and Fear of the Walking Dead.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up right there. I mean, let's face it. Wasn't too much longer before Telltale's Walking Dead. But apparently, yeah, they're getting a studio to pick them up now, and they might be able to salvage it. Yeah, Skybound, I believe. Yeah, so
the dude who wrote The Walking Dead, apparently he owns Skybound, and that's why he bought it.
Okay, well that makes sense. At least he extended that olive branch. Hopefully, a lot of those employees can retain some of their jobs. Otherwise, that's still a terrible fucking situation.
Oh, boy.
That you can't just mask by saying, the game's coming. Like, that's not how that works. Lives were affected there, people. Women, men, people who had hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Affected heavily. May not even be able to feed their families. But, you know, I digress.
Yeah.
This has been the third installment. I believe this is episode 3 of the Shadowrealm Podcast. One of your hosts here, NinjaBreadGod, signing out. Any last words, parting gifts, parting shots that you have for the folks? SubtleFraudulence?
Always and forever that the internet was a mistake.
Now that I can agree with. Yeah. Good night, guys.